Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a quick Chant A Psalm A day. It's going to be really quick. I am in my office, and there's some things that I have to finish up. So I wanted to come on quick and chant the psalm. Today's psalm, I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is righteous, what is good, and what is kind. And this psalm today is Psalm 11, and Psalm 11 is for today. The world is celebrating Veterans Day, and in that celebration of Veterans Day, I wanted to look at Psalm 11 because my dad is a veteran, and my dad passed away. So I am honoring the number 11 for the 11th of November, that the celebration of veterans and those who came before us. So when I looked and opened up Psalm 11, I saw Psalm 11 is titled, "The Lord is in the Lord's Holy Temple." And when I look at the Lord, I look at the Lord as righteousness, right? The Lord is righteousness, goodness. And this psalm is evidence of that. So Psalm 11, when I look at Psalm 11, greetings of love and tranquility with massive gratitude for the Most High daily, Elsu. Thank you so much for joining. I'm kind of late. Thank you for liking this video. So we're going to run through this Psalm 11. Thank you so much, Chawa, for joining. I am late today. I have class this afternoon in about 30 minutes, so I have a quick psalm to do today. But I wanted to really come on, and I am so thankful because I traveled yesterday all day, and so many things is happening in the world with the planes and trains and buses, and so many things are happening. And my students and I traveled safely. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am doing well. I hope everybody out there is doing well too. But I travel with my students, and I am aware of what's happening out in the world. My heart goes out to the families of students that were hurt at the Tuskegee in Alabama. And Tuskegee is a historic university in Alabama, and there was a shooting of some sort that happened during the homecoming. So there's things going on in the world. Our lives are temporary. We don't know what tomorrow may bring. That's why we have to stay in that good space. Every day we have to try to do that. And Psalm 11 rings true to this knowledge of staying in that good place because of so many things out here that's going on. So I ask again that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is righteous, what is good, and what is kind. So Psalm 11, in the Lord I take safety. I take safety in the Lord. And what is the Lord to me? The Lord is righteousness, mercy, kindness, love, compassion, forgiveness, long suffering. The Lord represents all of that, right? And in that, I'm going to take safety. And there's a question, how can righteousness speak to my life? And this is what righteousness speaks to my life. Flee as a bird to the mountain. For behold, the wicked are bending the bow. The wicked have fitted this arrow to the string. Remember, no weapons formed. The weapons are going to be formed, but they're not going to prosper, right? Because you're staying in that safe space. Now, they are preparing and they're fitting their arrow to the string to shoot in the dark at the upright in their heart. Okay, I gave an example of the vicious voicemail that was left for me, and that I'm not putting myself as a victim. I am not a victim of no way, any way, shape, or form. I am a survivor. I have survived. So I don't put myself in a victim position. I'm not a victim. And when I express what has happened to me, it's not me being victimizing myself. It is me acknowledging that what has happened is not going to keep me down. It's going to elevate me to the knowledge that, yes, people are going to attack me. Yes, people are going to hate me. Yes, people are going to not like me. People are going to not want to listen to my truth, and people are not going to want to hear it. But that doesn't mean I have to dislike. I'm going to, retaliate and be vengeful, because vengeance belongs to the Lord. And who is the Lord? Righteousness. Righteousness is going to fix it. Okay? Righteousness is going to put it all together and fix it. I don't have to put my hand to do it or do wrongness, to make things right. So we don't have to treat people bad to make ourselves better. When people are bitter, they can't be better because they're holding bitterness and insecurity and things that are of this world. So the psalm is very targeting this, because in verse 3, when the foundations are destroyed, the foundations that are righteousness, right? When that's gone, what can the righteous do? So foundations meaning you have lost your good place. You have lost forgiveness. You have lost mercy and compassion for people. You have lost kindness. When that happens, what are you going to do without those things? So in verse 4, it talks about righteousness, and that righteousness lives in that sacred place, that temple. That's you. You are the good soil, I keep telling folks. It's not outside of you. It's in you. You are, what is in you is greater than what's out there. And when we get to know that, we're going to be on our way. Nothing's going to move us. We're not going to be dependent on other people to validate us or to satisfy us or to give us anything happiness. Our happiness comes from inside. The word today is joy. So I'm going to get to that real fast. But when we look at verse 4, that temple is sacred. That temple is you. You are the good soil. You are the temple. Thank you for liking this video, by the way. That is a kindness that I appreciate. And in verse 4, it's a chunk of lines. And verse 4 talks about the Lord is in his holy temple, because what is that temple? Your body is a temple. Okay, I don't put certain things in my body because it is a temple. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of sleeping around with people, because I don't want my temple to, it's sacred. And who I give that temple to has to also be sacred, in order for the outcome to be good. So that sacred temple, the righteousness of what the Lord is enthroned in sacred happiness. That's what heaven is. When people are like, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven, they have this exuding, the satisfaction and contentment of their life, right? And they are happy. Heaven and happiness, that's a state of mind. Once your mind is strong enough to become that happiness, you're on your way. My mind is filtering so many things, so many past pains, so many hurt, so many things I wish I had said or wish I had done, and it plays over in my mind. However, when you have that knowledge that your mind is your heaven, right? It's that place of happiness where you store up all the good things and all the things that give you a feeling of euphoria and a feeling of serenity and a feeling of patience and a feeling of tranquility. You are creating that heaven in your mind and in your temple, because you are the soil. You are the good soil. Okay? You have to invest in you. And we oftentimes, especially as Black women, we invest in other people so much, so much, so much. We don't stop to take care of our feet. We don't stop to take care of our shoulders, you know, and our temple. So I've made a vow to go to the gym now every day. I'm going to record it so I can, you know, stick with it like I'm sticking with the Psalm. I'm going to go to the gym every day and have that experience, even if it's 20 minutes out of the day, where I go and I exercise my physical being, but yet my mind is being strengthened at the same time. So verse 4 is beautiful because it talks about the Lord having eyes to see, having eyelids, you know, and testing people to see whether they are of that righteousness or not. And so verse 4, the Lord is in the Lord's holy temple, and holy is sacred. The Lord's throne is in heaven. Heaven is this place where you don't have to die physically to go, but you can achieve that heaven right here on earth. And the Lord's eyes see, and the eyelids are of the Lord is testing the children, right? And in verse 5, we see that this test is for the righteous. Okay? When you're going through things, okay, it's because you're on the right track. Okay? It may seem hard. This happened to me. My relationship ended in a way that was kind of anyway, I'm not going to go there. My dad passed. The previous year, my son passed. All these things, I got cursed out on the voicemail. All these things piling up is pushing me closer and closer to that righteousness, that Most High, that is the Almighty, right? And I have to get to class soon. So these tests, right, is gonna happen. So I am thankful for that person who left the voicemail, because they pushed me into that righteous space. I didn't retaliate and curse them back out and go, you know, you nappy headed, what, you know, calling people names. I didn't go there, right? I stayed in that righteous space. So, however, righteousness does not love the wicked and the one who does violence, okay? Wanting to threaten someone, saying you're gonna F someone up and you're gonna do this to someone and you're gonna da, and you know, I'm not scared of people, you know, but the Most High, the Almighty, the Lord of righteousness does not love violence, okay? Even when I'm talking about violent video games, people are like, it's just a game, I'm just kill, shoot, you know, it's just a game. Yes, but you're putting that in your temple. You're ingesting that in the temple, and that's where God lives. So I don't think God is gonna want you in, you know, having that, being joyful with violence, in other words, you know, because God does not love the violence, and this is wicked. So the Most High is testing those out there. Okay, what are you going to do with your time? Are you spending your time, shooting up, killing, slinging and all this stuff? Or are you spending your time filling your temple with goodness, filling your temple with, a book, you're reading something, or you're, doing something with your hands? You are planting food, you are crocheting, you're learning to do something with your hands. What is it that you're doing? So you want to counter that violence. I don't like violence. I don't want to be around it. Okay. I tried playing the violent video games, and they're in the car going, and I'm just like, what is this? And that's fine. People do that. They want to, let out that energy doing that. I would rather go to the gym and lift weights, or, bench press or something, than to put into my temple these aberrations of harm in a game. The devil disguises things in games and fun for children. Oh, it's the children, they can dress up as things and go Halloweening. It's fun for the children. It's the children. Tell the children the truth. That's what you do. Tell the children the truth. So verse 5, says that. In verse 6, it says what's going to happen to those who err on the side of violence. Let hot coals rain on the wicked. Fire is talking about sulfur, and a scorching wind shall be the portion of their cup. I don't want that. I don't want that outcome. So I'm going to stay on the side of righteousness and find righteous things to do. Okay, planting, cooking, helping a homeless person, going to church and, volunteering at the Sunday school, or, volunteering to help take children to school, whatever the case is. That is where I'm going to find my space and my portion. So verse 7 now, the ending of this psalm, and I got to go to class. But I got to share the word of the day, that is joy, because all of this righteousness is about joy. Halazara Valateres. Hi. Welcome to Chant A Psalm A, and thank you for liking this video. If you find yourself watching this video and take a moment to like it, I appreciate that a lot. So we're ending the psalm today, Psalm 11 for Veterans Day. I don't celebrate these holidays of the USA. However, my dad was a veteran, so that is personal for me. So I acknowledge the folks who fought in the Vietnam War, that fought and lost their lives. Yesterday, the word was honor. We honor those that came before us. So the final verse, I love the final verse of Psalm 11. For the Lord is righteous. For the Lord is righteous. The Lord loves righteous works. The upright beholds the face of righteousness. So those who are living in an upright way are going to behold that righteousness. That's going to be seen around them. And I try to strive for that in my life. So here ends the psalm for today, Psalm 11, verses 1 to 7, and that is a wrap for the psalm. Let's jump over here to the word today, that's joy. The joy of God, and God is righteousness, is mine today and every day. So I'm joyful, to partake in righteous ways. I'm joyful to do good. I'm joyful to give good. I'm joyful to give kindness. I'm joyful to like this video. It's joyful to like the video, right? So sometimes I lose touch with my joy. Okay, people can come and try to steal your joy away from you. The example I gave is the voicemail that was left for me in August. We're in November now. August, September, October, November, 3 months ago. And that could not take my joy away. It couldn't. It just brought me, like, as I said, closer to that righteousness, in where I had to commune with righteousness on behalf of that person, so that they're not, I don't give them the power to upset me, I just take it with a grain of salt, and I just feel sorry. I'm saddened. I even weep for the person, because it seems to me a mental illness. When people do that, they don't know who you are, and they just call and they leave a voicemail saying these things. So I reach out to people who are suffering from mental health, because mental health is a serious topic. And when I've created this app, and one of the slices in the one of the pieces in the app is emotional intelligence and emotional, in order for you to socialize with other people and to be okay with other people, you have to be okay with yourself first. You have to love yourself and have self-esteem and have a self-identity that you are happy with, and knowing the emotions that you have, naming what they are, and being able to live in those emotions, but not have them, rule into you. And there are many emotions: happy, sad, frustrated, confused, and all that you can feel. And these emotions can take you into depressive places. So in the word today, joy, sometimes you can lose touch with your joy, and you may be tempted to search outside, yourself, for entertainment or distractions that bring temporary happiness. Okay, this is what happens: temporary happiness. But when the novelty fades, you find yourself searching for joy once again, right? So today, I want everyone to realize something: that true, lasting joy has a source, and the source is the Most High. The source is that righteousness, right? That's the source. And as a divine being that you are, all of you out there are divine beings. Even the person who left me a vicious voicemail is a divine being. But sometimes, like the word today says, sometimes people lose touch with themselves, with their joy, okay? But you are a divine being, and the joy of righteousness is yours. When you're not feeling joyful, when you need not turn to the things of the world. So when you don't feel joyful inside, there's nothing outside that you need to seek for. You need to look within yourself deeply, okay? And sometimes that's hard to do. People can't open themselves and look inside because there's childhood trauma, there's molestation, there's a lot of stuff in there. And people are afraid to look at it and face it. But you have to, in order for you to be a full person for someone in a relationship, right? So when you're not feeling joyful, and you don't need to turn to things of the world, instead, you need only turn to the divine presence within you. And that takes moments of aloneness, moments where, like, I went on a 5-day trip. I was in the hotel room by myself. I didn't have a companion there with me. I didn't have anybody there with me. It was me. So at nighttime, I had those moments alone with God. I had those moments of feeling that divine presence within me, and looking at my shortcomings, crying about the pain of losing my dad, the pain of losing my son, going through those things with a divine presence of God is powerful. So in a moment of communication with the Most High, and serenity, contemplation, I find deep serenity and tranquility and the comforting feeling that all is well with me and my surroundings. Okay? Worldly happiness may fade. Okay? The happiness of the world may fade. Okay? An example is people decorating, right? They're decorating trees and decorating and doing all that. And that's things of the world, right? There is no way that is of God. That's, idol, creating these idols, and sitting and getting happiness from those things of the world. However, they're going to fade, because at the end of the, people take those decorations down and pack them back up, right? They pack them back up to get ready to do it again. Thank you for liking this video, by the way. So the joy, God's joy is my joy forever. And the word joy today is brought to us by John 15, verse 11. I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. And that joy, that completion of joy isn't needed. Something on the outside is not needed to make that complete. Some people say, oh, you complete me. I can't live without you. I'm going to die without you. I can't be without you. Right? However, that's a person who is not complete within themselves, and they are seeking for someone else to complete them. That's dangerous, because then suppose something is not meeting their expectation. They might want to be violent, according to the Psalm 11 about violence. Righteousness doesn't love the one who loves violence, who loves to want to fight, and every minute they want to, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to, the Most High doesn't love that. So stop it. Stop doing that. You have to find that joy and completion within yourself in order for you to join with someone in a relationship. I realized that late in my 55 years on this earth. So that is the Psalm today. And I wanted to quickly look at the verse today, because the verse today is from 1 John chapter 2, verse 15 to 16. And it really kind of ties into the word today, joy, talking about looking outside of yourself for completion. Listen to what 1 John chapter 2, verse 15 to 16 says. Do not love the world or anything in the world. When anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. So when you love all these false idols of Christmas and the decorations and the tree as the center, okay, the love for the Father is not in you, because you are loving the things of the world. And that is what that is. There's no place in this Bible talking about putting up a Christmas tree. Okay. So when anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. But everything in the world is the lust of the flesh, because your flesh, your eyes are looking at the lights and you're getting hypnotized by the lights, right? Your flesh. The lust of the flesh, okay? People looking at your body, looking at the way your flesh looks, and they lusting after that. The lust of the eyes, okay? What you're seeing. And the pride of life. That's why I don't like to use the word pride. I told the LGBTQ community, get rid of the word pride and use love instead. Because in the scriptures, we know that pride is a sin. And being proud is, you got to be humble. And instead of being prideful, be loveful, be loving. So all of those things, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, it comes not from the Father, but from the world. And the world happiness is going to fade, according to our word today, joy. Worldly happiness may fade, but God's joy is my joy for all time to come. I'm going to hold on to that. Okay? That's where I want to be. That is where I am going to stay. So today is 11:11. We have 11 people on this live right now. Thank you for liking this video if you didn't already do so. But today is 11:11, November 11, and it's 11 people on here. So we are aligning with the goodness and mercy and righteousness. Now it's 14 people in here. But thank you so much for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. I'm really, I'm happy that, you know, we can come together like this and be able to, you know, chant the psalm and share the word in an uplifting way. Literacy liberates, according to Michael Treats, the librarian who presented at the conference. Literacy liberates. So when you are a reader, you're liberating yourself. When you're in school, when you're trying to learn something new, you're liberating yourself. And that's what the psalm is trying to do. We are liberating the words of the psalm of the colonial, capitalistic, white supremacist scriptures that were used to enslave, and we're using it now to free our minds through the word and through these titles of God, Lord, and Jesus. And what do they mean? They're action words. They mean love, kindness, long suffering, you know, all of that, righteousness and mercy and goodness. And that's what they mean. And 1 John chapter 2, verse 15 to 16 talks about that. It talks about who this love of the Father is. And this is what 1 John chapter 2, verse 15 to 16 is speaking of. Do not love the world or anything in the world. I don't. I always talk about I'm in the world, but I'm not of this world. It's like, what world are you of? I'm of the world of goodness, righteousness, mercy, kindness. I want to be of that world where I put others before myself. I think of you before I think of me. Because when I think of you, I'm thinking of me. When I love you, I'm loving me. So that is the place I want to be in, because the world doesn't love like that. The world loves in according to 1 John chapter 2, 15 to 16, in a flesh, lusting after the flesh, lusting of the eyes. You know, they're using the eyes to lust and look at that, and the pride of, you know, life instead of the love of life. So this is our psalm today. I'm so thankful that we can be here. Have a blessed day, everyone. And remember, stand in love. Don't fall in it. We have to stand upright, because the upright is going to see, the upright is going to behold the face of righteousness. So we have to stand. That's where I get that from. Standing in love and not falling, because that's when you're going to see God. You don't have to die physically to see that righteousness of the Most High. You can be alive today and see it. Okay? Leave a legacy of love and kindness and righteousness. Have a blessed day, everyone. Love y'all. See you next time.